Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. Pledge allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll do the roll call, please.
Absolutely. President Dom.
Here.
Vice President Everard.
Here.
Treasurer Gaten.
Here.
Secretary Fritz.
Here.
Trustee Thomas. Here. Trustee Zimmerman, absent. And Trustee Wazorek.
Here. And John Reinhardt is gonna be not present either.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I have you read the conservation ethic, please.
Goal number 6, to foster a conservation ethic among McHenry County citizens, helping all of us, regardless of the basis of our interest in nature, to develop a greater awareness of our role in and responsibility for the total community of life. Conservation ethic asks us to assume a moral duty to become educated about conservation issues and then to act on that information. The conservation ethic is an attitude that recognizes the importance of preserving the natural heritage of the county's open space. Goal number 3 is to manage its areas in such a manner that archaeological and historical resources are integrated with natural resources for optimal preservation, education, and recreation benefits. In 5.0, we pledge to make a difference by standing up for our water, wildlife, and way of life in McHenry County. Our quality of life in McHenry County depends on healthy and sustainable natural resources, thoughtfully developed cities and towns, a strong economy, and beautiful outdoor places to explore, discover, and recreate. Number 10, we will help to build a sustainable and vibrant local economy by providing a destination for outdoor recreation experiences.
Great, thank you. All right. I entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. Okay, Ron, there's motion.
Second.
Ray seconds. Roll call, please.
Secretary Fritz.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Vice President Everard.
Yes.
Trustee Wazorek.
Yes.
Treasurer Gaten.
Yes.
President Dom.
Yes. Okay, we're moving right along, 7.0, presentations. You're up, Will.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Tom, members of the board. I'm Will Abinger. I'm Director of Conservation Finance at the Trust Republic Land. And I'm very pleased to be here in person tonight, no longer on Zoom. To see you all and to present our program recommendations. So just briefly, a little bit about the Trust Republic Plan, maybe to refresh your memories. If you go to the next slide, please. Elizabeth, talk a little bit about PPL, but then and the process that we've been through together with you and your staff, and then move quickly to our program recommendations. The Trust Republic Land is about connecting people with nature in all kinds of different ways. But one way we deliver that mission is through our conservation finance work, and that's working at the state and local level, creating new sources of public funding for parks and conservation. And much of that is through ballot questions. We've worked on over 650 successful ballot questions throughout the country, creating new funding for parks and conservation. And that's resulted in about $94 billion in new funding created. Go to the next slide, please, Elizabeth, including quite a few here in the great state of Illinois. We're 11 for 13 of the ballot measures that we supported here in Illinois, including 2 of the previous McHenry County Conservation District measures. Your $73 million bond referendum in 2007. And then most recently, we had the great good fortune to work with the Forest Preserves of Cook County on a successful November 2022 ballot question. So this is our conservation finance methodology. This is what gets us to that 83% passage rate of ballot measures that the Trust Republic Land supports. Starts with feasibility research. The next step is to do a public opinion survey of voters. This brings us to where we are tonight, based on what we've learned in that feasibility study and the poll, and to make a recommendation to you. If the board decides to go forward with a ballot question, we'd be working with your staff and attorneys on the actual ballot language. And then again, assuming that you do refer a measure to the ballot, we'd then be working with citizens in the community to organize a campaign to educate voters about the ballot. So back in May of last year, you officially requested our technical assistance to work with the district on assessing your options for financing conservation here. And we completed our feasibility study in September and presented that to you last fall, that laid out the different finance options that were available to the conservation district, the amount of funding they created, and very importantly, what the impact on taxpayers would be. And really the meat of that conservation finance feasibility study was this table that comes right out of the study that looks at the conservation district increasing its limiting rate under the Illinois property tax extension limiting law. And the line there in green is the amount that we focused in on in that feasibility study, a 0.027% increase in the conservation district's limiting rate, which would result in about $3 million a year on an annual basis and additional revenue for about $60 million over 20 years. That would have a tax impact on the average homeowner in McHenry County of about $27 a year. So our next step was to poll McHenry County voters. This is a poll that was privately funded by the Trust for Public Land. We hired a national pollster to do a telephone survey of voters here in McHenry County, and the results of the poll were quite positive. The actual ballot question that we tested, asking voters here in that survey if they would approve that 0.027% increase in the limiting rate, was quite strong. So based on what we learned in the poll and the feasibility study, again, our recommendation to you tonight in terms of the finance mechanism is the increase in the property tax limiting rate at the amount of 0.027%, emphasizing the purposes of protecting drinking water sources, protecting the water quality of rivers, lakes, and streams, improving park access for people with disabilities, and protecting wildlife habitat. In terms of accountability measures, we recommend you include an annual public audit of how the funds are spent and making clear to voters that the funds can only be used for the purposes stated in the referendum and not for any other purpose. And we recommend that measure be placed on the ballot on the general election, presidential election coming up this November, November 5, 2024. I think you're all familiar with this, but this looks at it really from the financial and fiscal side. This also comes right out of our feasibility study. As you all know, in 2026, the Conservation District will retire the outstanding bonds from that 2007 bond authorization that the voters gave you. And even if you were to refer this increase in the limiting rate to the ballot, it would result in a pretty significant property tax decrease in 2026. In terms of the amount of property taxes that property owners in McHenry County pay to the Conservation District for the great services we provide. So that's our recommendation. Based on your action tonight, we would work with your staff to prepare the ballot language and resolution, which would come back to you at your April 23rd meeting. And as I said earlier, assuming you decide to go forward, we begin working with citizens in the community to plan for that ballot measure campaign. And then would come back to you with your April 23rd regular meeting for final consideration. Glad to answer any questions. And I just also want to say what a pleasure it's been working with you and your staff. I worked with conservation districts, park departments, state agencies across the country on these types of financing measures, and Elizabeth and your staff right on down are really top notch, and it's just been a total pleasure working with them. So.
Good to hear. Thank you. Any questions or anything? We pretty much have gone over it with the last Zoom and everything, so I
Entertain a motion to move forward with the PTEL referendum?
We just need a consensus, I think, tonight.
we can't.
Just a consensus to
We
proceed.
have to put on the ballot or the
To work
agenda.
with council to begin the language for the ballot.
So.
Okay,
Yes.
this- Protocol be a
seems
consensus,
backwards to me, but that's all right.
Well, they have to get the language.
the language
Right,
set, and
first
that's what
before
you'll
we vote.
advance.
Sure, okay, so what you're saying is we have consensus to go forward.
Forward to work with council to
And
put
to
the
work
question
with
together and then we'll
PPL.
vote on the question and.
So, is there anybody that has any objections? I think that'd be the easiest. So I think we have a consensus unanimously to keep moving forward.
Great.
Yeah, so. Excellent. Well,
Thank
thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
And I hope we introduced Carolyn too, she's the state director from Custer Public Land here in Michigan.
Oh, okay, great. Glad to meet you.
all of you.
Yes. Yeah, we keep hearing much about, your group and everything, so good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah. All right. We'll move along, trustees report 8.0. Any reports, would you care to enter?
Sure, I attended the Farm Bureau / Conservation District Beaver Convention meeting. And that was that was Wednesday, wasn't it?
Correct.
All right, so then, I got a call the next day, one of the guys that was there, Ken Maynard, and, it was kind of a heated discussion there.
Some of the things he feels
Via-
that needs to
Via
get done.
both sides. So, he wanted me to come and look at what he was talking about. Besides, just have the farmer look at it. So I went and looked, spent a couple hours and, I can see why they're kind of upset. And I had a nice conversation with Elizabeth and I kind of gave my opinion and my observations. And I kind of felt that, some of the, areas that they were talking about, they had a good reason to complain. It's kind of like on deaf ears. And it, kind of seemed to me that some kind of the, stuff that's not really public, is not accessible for the public, it's kind of needs to be taken care of. And so, gonna kind of have a visit with some of the staff and see if they can get stuff.
What about the
ironed out.
beavers?
Pardon?
What is this?
Mainly it's about
Beavers and then
keeping the waterways a
Clear.
little bit more open.
some of the dams they're
A
taking
lot
out.
of trees and
Yeah.
forestry
And
issues.
it's kind of their livelihood. And the water level's high and then their drain tiles
Right,
aren't working. And so there was kind of a heated discussion about what the definition of the stream is running. There's two different definitions of their side and our side, or vice versa. So,
But I
it'll
think,
get, it'll get,
yeah, I think we can get that worked out, and we're also going to, meet with not that same group, but, with people from the Farm Bureau, a few other issues that, we can try to help out with some of the land leasing and things like that, so yeah, we have a good working relationship with, the Farm Bureau, and we want to keep it that way.
yeah, once you quit talking, well, then things kind of go south. You always gotta have some type of dialogue, otherwise nobody knows what's going on.
Good. Okay, any other committee?
Yeah. Had a few. Attended the McHenry County Government, meeting, monthly meeting was at Ringwood. And, Joe Gottlemeyer and Mike Bueller, both there, both members of the, one head of the county board, another county board member, both complimented us on the budget process. And, thought that, there was a really good presentation, and so we got compliments there. Joe Gottlemeyer was, mentioned, the infrastructure bill at federal level, saying that there's money set aside for bike trails and we should get in line for that. So I said I would bring that to our board's attention. Saturday, the foundation, had a meeting, to update their strategic plan. And essentially what they're doing is they're looking at the district's plan, trying to, be in sync with it. And they're really standing by to say, what projects does the board want us, the foundation, to support? And they'll do that. So they're gonna work hand in glove with us. If the referendum goes forward, I mean, there's something that they would, that's the kind of thing that they would say, just call on us and we'll raise funds and we'll work with you. So, as they fine tune their plan, just to know that they want to be, in sync with us. Some of the other things that came out of it was they suggested a combined meeting, that once a year, the foundation board meet with our board. They also suggested that, their board members take turns and come and sit in on one of ours so that they get more informed, get to meet us and kind of hear firsthand, what our concerns and interests are. And, they also suggested that, we tour facilities, in particular the Tamarack, the new, acquisition. So I think.
Right.
It's a good idea.
Several partners involved.
Yeah, cool. Green Drinks is next week. MCC will be, the keynote speaker. And last thing I'll mention is I attended the maple syrup program. And, as we talked about last month, it's surprising that, the weather was so freakish that the sap was pretty much out. They were pretty much gone.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
about 3 weeks ahead of schedule.
yeah. But nevertheless, the program was well attended. I heard over 2,000 people came again and, they did an excellent job. I had two of my grandsons with me and they had a ball. So it was, well worth it. Kudos to the staff of that program.
Nice job on
Can I ask a question though, because we did hike Glacial. I can't remember, March 16th, I think it was.
that.
Does anybody get lost on that trail?
We have, I believe, had individuals in the loop around, but yes, where you're at and position, it has happened, so don't feel alone.
Okay.
You got lost? I take it?
Well, my daughter kept on saying, no, we go this way. And I said, no, Ashley, I wanna go this way. Because it's not marked. It's not marked the way we went. And I said, let's just go this way. We ended up at the building, but then we had to walk on the street to get back to our car. So it ended up being a much longer hike than we thought, which was fine, but, just thought, does anybody else get lost on here?
So internal wayfinding sign, and I think it's good to know, and maybe we can follow up kind of with that pathway that
Yes.
it wasn't, staff may be aware as well.
Well, it's not, I mean, we were on a path, we were gonna end up somewhere.
Right, but if you're distance
No.
more time, again,
Well,
Happy you made it back.
yes, yes.
So Linda,
You didn't have to have a flare gun or anything.
just, don't feel bad. I got so turned around last year.
Oh, yeah.
There's two parks that are next to each other, and I started at one, ended up in the other one, and I had no idea how to get back, but I'm in a different park. How's
But
that
thank
possible?
God staff rescued.
Yeah, I showed my trustee card, they gave me a ride back to my car.
Oh.
I'm the only one.
So it can happen.
So, well, it's good to see you're out there, so.
Yeah, it was fun. We enjoyed it. We took the dogs, some of the dogs, not all the dogs, but, kept them on our leash and we had a great time.
I got a question.
Sure.
There's an All Trails app. Is there trails on All Trails?
Yeah.
published on that.
Is it?
We are the first conservation district / forest preserve to be
Oh,
working with them. We beta tested with them 2 years ago and now all our sites are on them.
oh,
So my daughter tried to get on the app and for some
What app
reason.
it's called
we
All
couldn't-
Trails.
You
All
couldn't,
Trails. You can
we
be in
couldn't find it.
Arizona, you can be in California,
But it could have
Colorado.
been a glitch or
click
I
on
wasn't
this
patient
and-
enough.
Wow.
And I
It
just
tells you
thought,
how
like,
hard it is,
this way.
how long it is, the elevation, all that.
All that connectivity.
I know it.
Yeah.
Wendy, how
In
long,
a dead zone area.
Maybe,
but-
yeah.
Wendy, how long have we been on that then?
At least 2 years. Kate
Okay.
was probably telling me 4 years, but it feels like 2 years. COVID year.
It was right during-
Well, yeah, exactly. We lost some time there, yeah. Good, all right.
Well, it was a lovely walk. We enjoyed it.
Good. All righty, John Reiner's not here tonight, so we'll skip 9.0. President's report. I think anything else besides what we've talked about already. I don't think I have much of a report, so we'll go to public comments. Anybody out there in public?
I did not see any hands raised.
Okay. We'll move on then. We'll move to 12.1, the consent agenda.
Okay.
We'll turn it over to you, Pat.
I move, right, 12.1, approval of minutes of previous meetings. 12.1A, December 14th, 2023, committee of the whole, executive session. 12.1B, February 15th, 2024, committee of the whole. 12.1C, February 20th, 2024, regular meeting. 12.1D, December 21st, 2023, decennial committee of the local government efficiency acceptance. 12.1E, February 20th, 2024, decennial, how do you pronounce that?
Decennial.
Decennial, thank you, committee on local government efficiency acceptance. 12.2 treasurer's report, 12.2A, acceptance of treasurer's report for February 29th, 2024 is presented. 12.3 ordinance number 24-1040, an ordinance authorizing a permanent transfer of $400,000 from the general fund to the capital asset management plan fund. 12.4 resolution 24-13, approving the salary grade schedule for non-bargaining employees, local 150 collective bargaining employees, and short-term employees for fiscal year 2025 is presented. 12.5, resolution 24-14, authorizing the dissolution of the decennial committee on local government efficiency as required by Public Act 102-1088. 12.6, resolution 24-15, authorizing the purchase of 8 replacement vehicles and 3 additional vehicles. 10 purchased directly from the McHenry County bid purchasing contract, 1 from the state of Illinois bid purchasing contract for a total cost not to exceed $585,000. External bids, McHenry County number 24-7058, 23-6516, 24-7153, and the state of Illinois number 21-416 CMS-P-29479. 12.7, resolution 24-16, awarding a contract to Red Buffalo Nursery, the lowest responsive and responsible bidder to treat invasive species at 3 high priority sites for a cost of $60 per person per hour for backpack application and $120 per hour for herbicide application with an ATV boom sprayer for a total cost not to exceed $38,500. Bid number 0224.08.01. 12.8, authorizing to bid repainting of exterior of Powers Walker House at Glacial Park Conservation Area, the McConnell House at the North Branch Conservation Area. Bid number 0326.07.01. 12.9, authorizing to bid replacement roof at Region 1 shop. 12.10, authorizing to bid expanded fencing for bison pasture at Pleasant Valley Conservation Area. 12.11, resolution 24-17, ratifying a letter of support on intent to partner with the Savannah Institute on a National Fish and Wildlife Foundation grant proposal for agroforestry technical assistance and to connect with other Keystone landowners to share experiences and learn from peer organizations. 12.12, resolution 24-18, accepting the 2023 hunting program report and consensus to develop the 2024 hunting directives and program initiatives based on the hunting committee's recommendation. 12.13, resolution number 24-19, authorizing the executive director to execute a professional service agreement beginning April 1st, 2024 and ending March 31st, 2025 with Enhanced Networks, Inc. 12.14, resolution number 23-20, accepting the 8th edition 2024 land preservation report as presented. 12.15, resolution number 24-21, authorizing the pursuit of a partnership with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services and the funding for the hire of a 3-year restoration ecologist position.
Okay. Okay, so we have a second, Lloyd second, roll call please.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wazor.
Yes.
Vice President Everard.
Yes.
Treasurer Gaten.
Yes.
Secretary Fritz.
Yes.
And President Dom.
Yes. Motion carries. Okay. That's quite a bit. We'll go to Treasurer Gaten then with the approval of bills payable.
We will go through 13.18, the internal audits. Did anybody request any items be pulled? Our
I
usual
don't think so.
pullers on vacation.
Yeah.
And we can, I guess, call this month a wash and we'll resume next month with the audit.
Sure.
13.1B, I will make a motion to approve the payment of bills as indicated on the submission of bills pending report for the month ending February 29th, 2024.
Okay, so moved. Need a second.
Second. Okay.
Linda. So moved and seconded.
Vice President Everard.
Yes.
Trustee Wazor.
Yes.
Secretary Fritz.
Yes.
Treasurer Gaten.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
President Dom.
Yes, motion carries. Great, thank you. We'll move to 13.2. You want to take this then? We're going to talk.
We discussed during the committee of the whole, Attorney Payne shared, this is the ComEd along Route 31 and recommending that we just go ahead and execute the interested entity.
Pretty cut.
The motion, yeah.
So we just need a motion so we can act on it, so.
So
So, okay, been moved and seconded by Ron. Go through with the,
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Treasurer Gaten.
Yes.
Secretary Fritz.
yes.
Vice President Everard.
Yes.
Trustee Wazor.
Yes.
President Dom.
yes, motion carries. Okay, Executive Director report.
I gave most of my report last week. I just want to thank the board and Trustee Public Land for their assistance with the whole conservation financing that we've been working on for over a year, as well as our budget this evening is in front of the county board for final approval, which their meeting will begin at 7 o'clock and all really well. And then we'll start setting up some additional meetings. So I'll be reaching out to each of you as we meet with the chairman and others going forward. Next month. So that's all I have. Happy holidays to everyone.
Great, thank you. We pretty much went through the trustees' reports, committee assignments, so we're going through past that. Public comments number 2. Anybody out there?
There's no hand raised.
Okay, I guess I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Unless there's any other business.
Who's, okay.
Hey, moved by Ray,
I
seconded
second.
by Linda.
All right, Vice President Everard.
Yes.
Treasurer Gaten.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wazor.
Yes.
Secretary Fritz.
Yes.
President Dom.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.